Hey guys, it's Connor Crump here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to start my new series, my offseason rebuild series. And this is episode 132. I'm going to rebuild the Seattle Seahawks through the draft and through free agency. But before this video gets started, please comment down below what team you want next, because the most liked comment will be selected for the next video on this series that I do. Also, before this video gets started, please subscribe to help my channel grow, and thank you. Let's get right into this video. For these offseason rebuilds, we're going to use $186 million in cap room. The cap has not been announced yet, but I'm just going to go with $186 million because that is what I think personally it will be. But this means the Seattle Seahawks will have $15 million to spend before any trades or cuts or signings for that matter. So now let's get into this video. Although Carlos Dunlap was a great trade for the Seattle Seahawks in this offseason, I think it'd be smart to cut him since we saved a little more than $14 million. And we can use that to sign more free agents. And Carlos Dunlap, I believe, had 6 sacks in his 8 or 9 games with the Seattle Seahawks, which is great. And he had 3 tackles for loss and a pass defended. So it was really good and really helped us evolve our defense and get it to start playing a lot better and keep it from being potentially the worst defense in NFL history. We did allow 6,000 total yards on the season, but without Carlos Dunlap, that would have been a lot worse, probably closer to 7,000 or even more. He really helped that D-line develop and get to the quarterback. And that's one reason why the Seahawks were top 5 in sacks this year. So I really think Carlos Dunlap was a big part in having the Seattle Seahawks defense step up and allow the offense to not go as hard. I made the decision to structure Russell Wilson's contract so he saved $10 million in 2021, or this year. But this also means that we're going to have to pay Russell Wilson $5 extra million in the next 2 years, which might seem like a bad thing, but it really isn't. We're just paying his contract later down the line, still during his contract time. So it ain't really that bad. So saving $10 million puts our cap up to $25 million, so we're actually in quite a good spot. The 3 players I have the Seattle Seahawks resigning are Shaquille Griffin, Poona Ford, and David Moore. And I know KJ Wright and Chris Carson aren't here because I just don't think we have the money. And if we want to get cheaper options in the draft or even in free agency, we can do that. Shaquille Griffin will probably be quite a bit of money, but Poona Ford and David Moore won't be. David Moore is quite important to the Seattle Seahawks team. If you aren't a Seahawks fan, you might not know that, but he can really convert on third downs for us. He can get open. He's pretty good with the deep ball too. And then Poona Ford is a great young defensive tackle that has just been improving over the past 3 or 4 years. If we sign him through a 3-year contract, that Jerron Reed and Poona Ford duo at defensive tackle will be great. And I think this could make the Seattle Seahawks D-line quite solid. Jamal Williams is the first player I have on the list of signings for the Seattle Seahawks. And the reason I have Jamal Williams is obviously because Chris Carson is now gone. And Jamal Williams is a cheaper alternative who is pretty much the same skill level as Chris Carson, in my opinion. I think Jamal Williams is quite underrated. So I think he'll be great for the Seattle Seahawks as long as he has some offensive linemen. And this is why we pick up Austin Blythe, who can be a center or a guard. He'll probably be a center unless you draft a center in the draft, and then you can put him at guard, and that inside offensive line is quite solid there with Damian Lewis, who was pretty good last year, drafted to the all-rookie team, so it'll be great for us. Then Austin Blythe and a center in the draft in the 2nd round would be great for us. Then also Solomon Thomas, who is a defensive end. We lose Carlos Dunlap, so we really need to have a guy like Solomon Thomas, who's not as good, but he's a lot younger. He's like 6 or 7 years younger. And he has the potential to be a great player. He just didn't really get used a whole lot in the 49ers defense with Nick Bosa there, sort of stealing his spot. Who's the second overall pick. I think that he could be good for the Seattle Seahawks. He might not be amazing, but he's definitely an upgrade over LJ Collier. With Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams at the 2 safety spots on the Seattle Seahawks, I don't see a point in keeping Marquise Blair on the Seattle Seahawks team. So I think that we'll trade him to a safety or really just a defensive back needy team like the Dallas Cowboys. We'll get their 3rd rounder. We'll give them our 5th and Marquise Blair. And we save $420K. So it's a pretty good trade for us. He doesn't have a whole ton of value, but I think he could be pretty good. But there's no point in keeping him with Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs on our team. For this draft, I just used a draft simulator website to basically just simulate the draft for us. And whatever was there at our draft picks, that's who we take. And in this case, the 55th pick in the draft, I took Landon Dickerson, who was a guard/center. To my point earlier with Austin Blythe, you can move any of these to either spot. And the great thing about Landon Dickerson is that he can also play tackle. He played everywhere on the O-line for Alabama, wherever he was needed. He played guard/center this previous year, so that's probably where he is the best at. So I do think Landon Dickerson will be a great addition to the Seattle Seahawks. And then also with the 74th pick in the draft in the 3rd round, which is the Cowboys pick, who we traded to get with Marquise Blair, moving on from the Seahawks. And we take Tommy Tremble, who's a tight end. And I know we have Will Disley, but the Seahawks run a lot of 2 tight end sets. And Tommy Tremble is a guy the Seattle Seahawks would like. And I like Tommy Tremble. I think he'll be a solid tight end for us. He could get up to the level of Will Disley. And we have 2 pretty good tight ends on our hands. And now I think with the 128th pick, I think Ronnie Perkins. I don't know how he was here, but he was here. He's an edge rusher. And if Solomon Thomas doesn't work out, we can always have Ronnie Perkins there at edge. We can put him on either edge spot, and I think he will really buff up the defensive line. So I really think this is good for the Seattle Seahawks here. I think this is a great draft. These are the only 3 really notable picks. I drafted a wide receiver later because he fell, but wasn't really that notable, so I did not include him into this video. But yeah, this is a draft. I think it was a pretty successful draft and off-season plan that helped propel the Seahawks to potentially a Super Bowl contending team. And I think this really helps the Seahawks just build a team, and I think this made the Seahawks get quite a bit better. Thank you guys for watching this video to the end. Before you leave, please comment below what team you would like to see next to rebuild in this off-season series that I am starting. The most liked comment will get chosen, so please do comment if you want your team to be first or next up for that matter. And without further ado, this is going to end the video. Thanks for watching again, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.